Power-packed possibility.
The possibilities are endless.
Power-packed possibility.
Tapping into what our power is.
Literally.
Coming to expect life to happen for us.
It all comes down to the power of intention.
Possibilities.
All right, so welcome to another episode of Truth Be Told. We've just come off of 2 months of talking about common quandaries. And these are things that challenges or things or blocks or things that get in the way that we all experience. So this month, we've looked at the quandaries and now we're really tapping into what our power is. This energy that gives action and creativity to our life. So this month, the title is We've Got the Power, because we know we do, because there is a power in the universe that we can use, and we're using it every day, either by design or by default. So this month is going to be really focused on how can we use it by design. So this week's topic is power-packed possibilities. And we know that we live in a universe of limitless possibilities, and sometimes it's hard to see that. So we're really going to take a deep dive on how we can tap into this, how we can crack open this power and experience the fullness of these possibilities in our life. So thank you for joining us. Sit back and relax. Enjoy another episode of Truth Be Told, Power-Packed Possibilities.
Possibilities. The possibilities are endless, and that's what's really cool. So let's just first define it. That's really all my job is to do this week, is just to define what are possibilities. Well, possibilities are things that are able to be done, or things that may be the case. But, of course, we want to look at it from a deeper perspective, because that's what we do. We're the Soul Evolution Collaborative, and we like to look at things from a spiritual standpoint. So in the spiritual standpoint, possibilities are infinite, really. And it all exists in the infinite mind of which we all share our consciousness. So that really, it removes all limits. It takes us beyond limits into a way of living bigger and more powerfully. And it's kind of cool, because this is where science and spirituality overlap. When we start to look at the field of quantum physics and what they have determined, if you look up the double slit experiment, if you've never seen this before, you got to really look it up because it's really cool. Double slit experiment. So they can determine whether a photon of light is either a wave or a particle. Of course, if you're familiar with it, well, they determined that it's both and or. And the way it shows up is dependent on what the observer expects to happen. And that ties in perfectly with the way we feel in the science of mind philosophy. What we expect to happen generally does. So that's the whole reason why we steered this month towards power-packed positivity. The last couple months we worked on our common quandaries, and those were challenges. Well, what we figured out is as we looked at those, they tended to show up during the week that we were focused on it. Now, is it that we manifested them because we were looking at them, or is it just that because our attention was on them, we noticed them? Well, really, does it make much of a difference? If it increased in our experience, well, that's powerful. So that's how we ended up on this one, is because somebody in our group, The Gathering, suggested if we're seeing more of it while we're looking at it, why not pick something that's more positive, something that we would like to see? And that's what we're doing. So just by opening up and asking what is possible, we expand that realm so much. So that leads me to a quote. It was RFK quoting George Bernard Shaw. And the quote is, "Some people look at things as they are and ask why. I dream to think of things that never were and ask why not." So it's a pretty big deal. Possibilities. Open it up. The possibilities are endless. Literally.
Power-packed possibility. Let's refine this idea a little further. What does it mean to have possibilities in our lives? And why is this important? Well, we have choice. So we get to choose to live a life of possibility or not. And really what this means is to invite, to expect possibility to show up in our lives. The opposite of possibility is perhaps limitation, dead ends, ideas that don't come to fruition. Possibility, living a life of possibility, is to invite into your life open-ended paths, roadways, decisions, ideas, things that continue growing. To actually come to expect possibilities to show up. See, what happens is when we have a thought and we act on this thought is also acted on by the world around us. And this thought is also creative. So the world feeds back to us, through us, about this idea, about this thought. And this thought returns back out into the world as a greater possibility. And so if we cut that process off, we are no longer living by possibility, we're living by an idea that is already completed, an idea that if it's not creating something else, then an idea that's dead. So to live by possibility is to live in creativity, the creativity of the universe, the creativity that is responsible for all of us and everything we know being here. It is the same creativity that lives in us. So to live in possibility is to activate this idea of creativity that is within us. It is also our feedback mechanism to law, to universal principle, to the mind that thinks back of all of us, thinks back of all thoughts. This is how we feed back. Possibility is our yes to welcome more life, more experience, more creativity. So this really is important, because if we're not in the realm of possibility, if we're not in thinking of possibility, inviting possibility, what are we inviting? Whatever the opposite of that is. And it certainly seems like it is cut off and limiting, right? So to embrace possibility is to embrace creativity through us. It is to embrace our fullest purpose, our most divine way of living. That is to embrace possibility. So it is ours to step into a divine way of being, in that we come to expect possibility. Power-packed possibilities. We come to expect these things in our life. We come to expect the possibility of things working out. We come to expect the possibility of life showing up for us. We come to expect the greatest thing possible to happen. We come to expect our greatest good to come towards us in every scenario. Power-packed possibility is coming to expect life to happen for us.
Hey there, we aren't quite done yet, but we wanted to take a moment to thank you for being here. We are grateful for all of your support, and thank you so much for being here and watching with us. It is truly our pleasure to put all of this together and bring you some ancient wisdom and inspiration. If you feel the call to pay it forward, we welcome your gifts. You can always text a donation to 616-207-0007, including the keyword SEC. More details on our website.
Possibilities. So how do we align ourselves with this understanding? How do we take this understanding of possibilities and really make it pop and work in our lives? So for me, it all comes down to the power of intention, and how intentions, when we set them and really focus on them, how they kind of create this energy which then flows into our life. So when I look at creating or setting intentions, I look at a 3-step method. Now, this is something that I created in my own head, so maybe it's something that will resonate with you. So it's called see, feel, and make real. So those 3 steps when I'm looking at setting intentions and really tapping into this possibility. So the first, see. Now this is all about creating a mental equivalent of that which I want to see outpictured in my life and in the world. Because we only know that we can only create that which we have this mental equivalent. And so that if we can see it, then we know that we can make it real. So really getting focused, really quieting yourself, and really in your mind, closing your eyes, if that helps. Sometimes it helps for me just to shut out everything and really focus on what is it? What does this look like? What does this thing that I want to outpicture, that I want to be, that I want to show up, that I want to manifest, what does it look like? And to get really specific about that. So the second step, once we see it in our minds, the second step is feel. So what is this experience or thing or relationship or whatever it is that I want to see in my life? What does it feel like? And begin to get that feeling tone of what that feels like. So that it's less about the thing and more about the feeling, because we know that the feeling is what brings this power to our intentions. It's that feeling tone that underlies everything, that really taps into that power and possibility. So we've seen it, we've felt it, and now it's time to make real. So this is the step where I look at what are those things that are standing in the way, whether it's underlying beliefs, underlying thoughts, old ways of being, often default ways of being, those things that are really standing in the way of blocking that energy for the actualization of this intention, for the tapping into this possibility. When I get really clear on what those blocks are, then I can release them. Now that's easier said than done, but awareness is half the battle. So when we're aware of those things that really block us and stand in the way of this possibility, stand in the way of the power of this intention, then we can gently release those. So see, feel, make real. And that's how we can align ourselves with this power of possibility.
Thank you for being here, and an even bigger thank you for watching until the end. If you'd like to take an even deeper dive, join us in conversation on Thursday night. We will explore this week's topic, answer questions, and just be together in a truly transformative experience. While you're here, click like and share, join our Facebook community so you can stay in contact with your community. The Soul Evolution Collaborative is supported and made possible by people like you. If you feel the call to help financially support this mission, you can text or give online. More information at soulevolutioncollaborative.org. All donations are tax deductible and greatly appreciated. To stay up to date, visit the Soul Evolution Collaborative website at soulevolutioncollaborative.org to sign up for email, news, and inspiration. We'll see some of you Thursday night at 7 p.m. Everybody else, we'll see you next week. Be well.